everybody. Welcome back to the RGA 2024 Summer Biz Expo. It's a mouthful. And you know what? I got my favorite person here, and I will be glad to say this is my favorite person. It's London Baker.
Perfect.
Law.
Right.
And it's good to see you again.
It's really great to see you.
Really good to see you again. So let's talk about real quick what you've done. What do you do?
Okay. So I do estate planning, which is getting wills, trusts, stuff like that together. I do probate for people who haven't done their planning, which you seem to be striving in situation.
I am, right? Oh my gosh.
Okay. And I do everything I can to help people avoid it with their estate planning. And I've also started doing some elder law, Medicaid planning.
Oh.
Yeah, that.
That's a very deep pool, isn't it?
It's a very deep pool.
Yeah.
However you define deep pool, it's a pretty darn deep pool.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like, I'm not there yet, and I know I've got to be ready for all that stuff. So I've got to get my ducks in a row, and my ducks have been scattered. So I'm getting them back in a row so I can get.
There you go.
It's super important. So now, where do you find yourself going the most? Is it the elder law or is it the estate planning?
No, sadly, it's the probate.
Really?
Well, okay. It's happened 3 times today. I've had 3 people tell me, call me back when I have assets. I said, no, you don't understand. If you have a bank account, you have an asset. If you're single, you have an asset. And if you're single and nobody can talk to a doctor for you or make a financial decision for you, you need documents. I don't have anything. So the biggest superstitions are, A, I don't have anything. B, it costs too much when they have no frame of reference, which is one of my favorites.
Right.
And the third, actually, which is great, is I'll die as soon as I do it. And people really say that.
Really?
Really say it.
So they actually think that if I get this all in place, I'm going to die.
Right. So they're not going to get it in place.
That's crazy.
And they're not going to die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard you talk about you always have something. You never have nothing.
Exactly. You never have nothing.
Never have nothing. There is stuff there.
Yes.
And if you want to make sure where it's going the right way, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. People don't like to think about it, which I can understand.
It's morbid almost, in a way.
People think they don't know anybody they can appoint, which sometimes is true, but there are ways around that. And I had one person, I used to say, if you hate your family, don't do it. And one guy said, I hate my family. I went, okay. Then
don't do it.
Don't do it. I got it.
Let them deal with all the stuff.
That's right. So
wow.
people come out of the woodwork that haven't seen anybody for 20 years and say, that's mine. Got a case now where grandchildren had nothing to do with their grandmother, according to one of the daughters, and they want part of the estate. And sadly, Mom didn't have a will, so they're entitled to part of the estate. Grandma didn't have a will.
Right.
So, and the peace of mind that people have when they finish the planning is really priceless.
It's like a big weight taken off your shoulders.
Huge, huge.
I have sat back and watched families literally tear each other apart because there wasn't the proper documentation left behind.
Right. And people think, today I had somebody say, well, I've got everything done. I said, well, what about your home? They said, well, it's in the will. I said, that's great, but they'll have to go to probate to get the will. They'll have to go to probate to get the house. Well, it's in the will. I understand that logically you would think.
Right.
No.
So is there ever a point where you don't have to go to probate?
Oh yeah, if you do your beneficiary designations right. So if all of your financial, legal, liquid assets, money, bank accounts, have beneficiaries, and if your home has been protected in a trust or by a particular deed, the states differ per se.
Right.
But you can avoid probate.
I would do that. That's just peace of mind does not have to do. I'm watching it go on right now.
Right, you're saying that.
I'm literally dealing, I'm like, wow, that is crazy that people would be this way, but they are that way.
Well, yeah, it's really hard.
It sucks that you can say that and naturally it's like, oh yeah, no, everybody's really good and blah, 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 and they'll just all be really good, but the knives come out.
Well, the thing I tell people so how many children do you have?
I have 3.
Okay. So what a lot of people say is, I'm going to let my oldest do all the dividing of money because I trust them. I said, okay, here's what happens. It's not that you can't trust them necessarily, but here's what happens. If you're the caretaker, if that oldest is the caretaker when you're dying and the 2 other ones don't show up, guess what? and you leave everything to the oldest, they have no legal obligation to share it. So that's one thing.
Oh, okay.
The second thing is, when you die, you want people to grieve. So if you get the bank, so if you bring a death certificate to the financial institution, the financial institution will write a check to each one of those beneficiaries for their share, and you don't have to do it. And people say, well, I said, I'm just telling you, if nothing else, just let your people grieve. Don't ask your oldest to split money.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, and you might trust them, and you may be right, but
right. So how can people get a hold of you?
Well, my website is London Baker Law, London like the city, londonbakerlaw.com, and my phone number is 813-586-1332. I only am licensed to practice in Florida, but I talk to anybody because I am just driven to be of service. So
and you handle all of Florida?
All of Florida.
All right.
Yeah.
That's because you don't have to go. They don't have to be in front of you. You can do Zoom or whatever, all that kind of fun stuff.
Amazing. Pretty much everything can be done remotely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Everybody, look, if you're needing good representation, this is the lady right here. She will take good care of you. Again, we're coming from the RGA Business Network 2024 Summer Biz Expo.
There you got it. Thanks.